Good evening. Welcome to My Teacher today's episode. Today we are going to discuss about the second chapter in 10th CBSE biology, that is control and coordination. First let us see what does control and coordination mean. Control is the power to restrain and regulate by which something can be started, slowed down, or expedited or stopped. For example, let me explain. The skeletal muscle in our body, the movement of the skeletal muscle is under the control of our will. We can speed up it, we can reduce the speed, we can stop it, and we can even slow down. This is called the control. Then what does the coordination means? Coordination is the orderly, harmonious working of different but interrelated parts so as to perform one or more activities very smoothly. For example, in our body there are different organs, and these organs are performing different functions. Again, these organs join together to form organ systems. Organ systems have yet another functions. All these organs and organ systems in our body are functioning in a well coordinated manner, so that all these organs are functioning smoothly and in an efficient way. This is possible with the help of two systems which are present in our body for the control and coordination. Let us see which are the two systems that is responsible for the control and coordination. See once again. Living organisms are made up of cells. Cells join together to form tissues, and different tissues form different organs. These organs perform different functions, but all these organs function at the right time so that they can work efficiently. Then we have sense organs in our body, different sense organs. What is the function of these sense organs is, these organs inform our body the changes in the environment. The environment or the surrounding in which we are living is dynamic in nature. The conditions in the environment continuously changes. These changes in the environment is informed to the body by the sense organs, so that the body can respond accordingly. So that means there is a coordination, or there is a stability between the external and internal environment. It is because the sense organs inform our body the changes in the environment. Now let us see, there are in the living organisms for control and coordination, there are two systems. First one, it is nervous system, and the second one, endocrine system. For the control and coordination, there are two systems. One is nervous system, and the second one is endocrine system. Animals have both the nervous system and also the endocrine system. The nervous system consisting of brain, spinal cord, and also the nerves which are spreading various parts of the body. Endocrine system consisting of some small organs which are placed in different parts of the body, and these organs secrete certain chemicals, and these chemicals are called hormones, and the hormones act as chemical messengers. So once again, remember, for the control and coordination, we have two systems in our body, or in the case of animals, there are two systems for the control and coordination. One is in the nervous system, and the second one is endocrine system. Endocrine system consisting of certain organs which are placed in different parts of the body, and these organs secrete certain chemicals, and these chemicals are called hormones. Hormones act as chemical messengers. Now let us see in detail about the nervous system. See on the screen, you can see what is the function of the nervous system. Nervous system serves to control and coordinate the functioning of all other organ systems in our body. There are different organ systems, and these organ systems consisting of different organs. These organs and organ systems perform different functions. All these functions are controlled and coordinated by another system, and this system which is responsible for the control and coordination, that is called a nervous system. Here our nervous system, you can see on the screen, consisting of brain, spinal cord, and connected to the brain and spinal cord, there are nerves which are spreading throughout the body. So, nervous system consisting of two processing centers. So, we can say that brain and spinal cord are the processing centers. They process the information which is received by the sense organs, and according to the processing of the brain and spinal cord, our body respond accordingly. So, we can say that brain and spinal cord are the processing centers in our body. Then, let us see the parts of the nervous system. The nervous system consisting of two parts. Nervous system can be divided into two parts. One is central nervous system and the other is peripheral nervous system. Nervous system can be divided into two parts, central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. Central nervous system, again you can see the different parts of the nervous system. Central nervous system again consisting of two parts. One is brain and the second one is spinal cord. These are the two parts of central nervous system. So, central nervous system consisting of brain and spinal cord, these are the processing centers, or they process the information. As a result of the processing of the information, our body responds accordingly. And peripheral nervous system is a communication pathway between the central nervous system and different parts of the body, or we can say that the communication between central nervous system and different parts of the body is facilitated by peripheral nervous system. Then again, the peripheral nervous system can be divided into two: afferent pathway and the second one is motor or efferent pathway. Afferent pathway consisting of those nerves which are connected to the sense organs. These nerves carry sensory information from different sense organs to the brain and spinal cord. Once again, let me repeat. Afferent pathway consisting of those nerves which are connected to the sense organs. For example, when we look at an object, an image is formed in the eye. This image which is formed in the eye is taken to the brain by a nerve called optic nerve. So, we can say that optic nerve is a sensory nerve, it carries information to the brain. Then the second part of the peripheral nervous system consisting of efferent pathway. Efferent pathway means those nerves which carry motor impulses from brain and spinal cord to other parts of the body. Once again, let me repeat. Peripheral nervous system is the second part of the nervous system. Nervous system can be divided into two parts: central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. Peripheral nervous system again divided into two pathways. One is afferent pathway. Afferent pathway consisting of those nerves which carry sensory information from sense organs to the central nervous system. And the second one is efferent pathway. Efferent pathway consisting of motor nerves or those nerves which carry the decisions of the brain and spinal cord to the effector organs. Then again, the motor nervous system or efferent pathway can be divided once again into two. Let us see what are the two parts of the efferent pathway. Efferent pathway again divided into two parts. First one, it is somatic nervous system. The somatic nervous system consisting of those nerves or motor nerves which are connected to the skeletal muscles. So, somatic pathway consisting of those nerves which are connected to the skeletal muscles, and these muscles are voluntary muscles, we have control over them. The second bifurcation or the second type of the efferent pathway is called autonomic nervous system, or it is also called self-regulatory system. Autonomic nervous system consisting of those nerves which are connected to all the internal organs. Autonomic nervous system consisting of the nerves which are originating from the brain and the spinal cord. They are connected to all the internal organs and they control the functions of the internal organs. Again, the autonomic nervous system divided into sympathetic and parasympathetic system. So, autonomic nervous system consisting of those nerves which are originated from the brain and spinal cord, they are connected to all the internal organs, can be divided again into two parts, sympathetic system and parasympathetic system. Let us see what is the function of the sympathetic system. Sympathetic system, when a person is subjected to a stress such as fear, anger or rage, there are certain changes which takes place in his body to prepare the individual for meeting an emergency. For example, suppose we are subjected to a stress. Quite naturally, breathing rate increases, heartbeat increases, salivary secretion decreases. All these are controlled by the sympathetic nervous system. So, sympathetic nervous system prepare an individual for meeting an emergency. So, when a person is subjected to a stress such as fear or fight, some changes takes place in his body. For example, I already told you that heartbeat increases, breathing rate increases, more blood is diverted to the muscles, body hair stands erect, salivary secretion decreases. All these functions are under the control of the sympathetic nerves. Once the stress is over or once we are free from that stress, then all the functions of the internal organs come back to the normal state. It is just because of a system of a part of the autonomic nervous system that is called parasympathetic system. We will continue after a break.